Hi, thank you for joining me. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is one I kind of wasn't really expecting doing. I'm going to be talking about Tori Amos's Diving Deep Live, which is her latest release, which is a double album, obviously a live album. And you're thinking, my God, he's got 2 copies. No, he's got 3 copies on vinyl and the CD. Now then, I will explain a little bit more about why I've got all these and kind of why I've decided to do a video on this, because I buy a lot of records that I think are just, they're just for me, if you see what I mean. And then there are some that I think will have sort of common interest and be good for videos. So this wasn't really one I was thinking of for a video, but as you can see, I've got 4 copies of it now. So there's something behind that. So let me tell you a little story about it. The first copy I bought was on vinyl, because you know me, and it was a limited exclusive original. So there's the signed art card, for instance, which she signed. It was very lovely. I like to get these things, and this was on a limited kind of initial run on, let me get it out here, on a really kind of beautiful translucent sort of turquoise greeny blue vinyl. Now, it sat in my in-pile for a week or 2, and then I got around to playing it, and right from the word go, I was absolutely knocked out by the sound quality and the performance. But, big but, there was, there was quite a bit of noise on the vinyl, and this is kind of following on from previous videos. I know, but yeah, there was an unacceptable amount of noise on the vinyl, and so I kind of, reported. I bought this from the Tori Amos store, so I emailed them. They got back to me, said, send me a little video or music clip of the, of the noise, which I did. And they said, okay, well, we'll agree to a refund, but we can't send you another one because we're sold out of that limited edition first run. Oh no! So what I did was I ordered a black one, and I'm not sure where we are here. Hang on, let me have a look. Yeah, okay. So I ordered a black one, just the regular version, and I put it on, and it left me a bit cold. Whereas the blue one, even though it had some quite nasty little sort of scratchy noise bits on it, clearly groove damage. The black one was kind of thin, unemotional. It didn't groove, it didn't swing, the bass didn't go as deep. It was actually the difference between an album that you would just like listen to all the way through, jaw dropped open, goose pimples, you really feel like you're there, versus a kind of a matter of fact, kind of, live but in the studio type of recording. But then, anyway, there were issues with this. Now, I don't know whether we can see here. I'll take a photo of this and insert it. But there's a little bit of non-fill there. Okay, so even this black one's not perfect. And I will get onto the pressing details and all the rest of this. Basically, this is pressed at GZ Media in Czechoslovakia. And I think my next video is I'm going to be talking about all of these in greater detail. The Deutsche Grammophones I've had the replacements for now, and various other things that I've talked about in my last sort of failures kind of video, and that video will be coming up next. But basically, the black one was a lot better in terms of noise, but actually, I really didn't much like the sound of it. And I just didn't know what to do. So I kind of hunted around a bit, and I thought I was ordering what they call a Coke bottle version, because there's another coloured vinyl version, and that's this one. And as you can see, whereas the regular black one only has black, as they are, unlined inners, this has the picture inners. But anyway, I ordered this expecting to get a Coke bottle variety, and lo and behold, it's the same as my original copy. Now, suffice to say, I've played them through, and I've decided which copy is the one I'm keeping and which ones will be returned. And what I really want to talk about now is not so much the damage and the mispressing, because I will talk about that in great detail in the next video. But I want to talk about the difference in sound quality between the black and the blue coloured vinyl versions. Now, first thing I want to point out, as I said, these are pressed at GZ Media, and you can tell that because these will have a Made in the Czech Republic sticker on the bag. Anything you see with that on there is pressed at GZ Media. And GZ Media is like Optimal that I mentioned with Deutsche Gramophones, definitely one of these pressing plants that must do better, okay? But really, let's come back to that. But for now, I want to talk about the difference between the sound quality of the black and the blue, and of course the CD. And now, as you can see in here, we've got 2 CDs. There's actually 4 tracks more on this one. Here in My Head, Crazy, Sister Janet, and Mother Revolution. And on the CD you get a nice little booklet too, which I will point out, some of the pictures are the same as in the on the inner sleeves of the deluxe vinyl or the limited vinyl edition, and some are different. So, for a real kind of Tori completist, I would actually recommend getting the CD and the vinyl. And obviously I've bought a lot more than that, but I'm keeping the CD and I'm keeping the blue vinyl copy. Okay. Now let's talk about the sound quality. I'll start by talking about the blue one, because that's what I heard first. And actually, funnily enough, I put on side 2, Pandora's Aquarium. I wanted to hear that first, and it's just, this is one of those live recordings that really sounds live. You really get the sense that you're in a massive auditorium. The bass on this is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It fills the hall, it fills the space. It's so deep, it's so growly. It's utterly fantastic. John Evans, who plays the bass, at times he's almost kind of Jaco Pastorius-like in his sort of the sounds and textures, and it's just stunning. And Tori's piano over the top, and Ash Sohn is the drummer, and the three of them, it is absolutely incredible at its best. This is just, currently right now, this is my favourite Tori Amos album. It really is. It's just mind-blowingly good. Absolutely mind-blowingly good. So you've got this huge spacious sound, masses of depth. The crowd sort of just, it feels like you're there. It is absolutely incredible. You'd be drawn to tears by the power, the emotion, the space, the intensity, the passion of it. It is absolutely phenomenal. Tori's piano sound is just, she's a goddess in my opinion. She's just incredible, and her husband, actually, Mark Hawley, is a sound engineer, and I can joking with my wife, you can see why she married him, because to get for a piano player who plays with the passion and spontaneity and connection that she manages or does, that's just how she weaves her way. For that to be captured sonically in the way that her sound engineer Mark Hawley does, I can see why she married him. Simple as that. Anyway, it is staggering. The sound is staggering. I would Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely recommend this. The blue version, okay? Now, I've got no reason to suspect the Coke bottle version will be different to the blue version. But the black version, now this is where it gets interesting, because that was the second copy I got, and it just left me cold. I have to note that both of these are cut by Miles Showell, Abbey Road, half-speed mastering, which we all know I'm not a great fan of. But the black one really sounds like that. It's great. It's a beautiful performance. It's captured well. It's a lot more kind of forensic in it, but it's there isn't the air, there isn't the space. It sounds a little bit brittle, a little bit harsh, and it's sort of flatter than the original one. And actually, the thing that's really fundamental is that it's the flow to the songs all the way through. It is just the swing, the boogie, the flow, the sort of breathingness of the music, if you like, of the band on stage is just unbelievable. And on the black version, it just sounds a little disjointed. It sounds a little bit like the three of them are kind of musically treading on each other's toes, and it just doesn't sit and flow as well. And it's just track after track after track all the way through. The bass doesn't have the same weight and growl and texture as it does on the coloured version. The depth is kind of curtailed. It doesn't have the air, and it all sounds just a little bit gritty. So I would thoroughly not recommend the black version, basically. Whereas the blue version, compared with the black, it breathes. It sounds organic and open and massive, and it swings, and the bass just plummets deeper. And then we get to the CD. Okay, so how does a CD compare with the black one? Well, frankly, I prefer the CD to the black vinyl version. I really do. And I know we've had these comments before. How can we compare my CD playing system with my vinyl playing system? They're completely different front ends. Of course they are, and they will be for absolutely everybody. But I've chosen my CD playing solution to suit my tastes. And my taste remains the same whether I'm playing vinyl or CD, if you see what I mean. So I use a Computer Audio Design CAD 1543 Mark II DAC. I use their USB cables, I use their ground controls, I use their Ethernet controls and the USB controls, and that produces a CD sound for me, which is the closest to analog that I've heard. Cost is immaterial here, okay? But we're talking 30 grand's worth of digital hardware, I'd say, okay? The vinyl, yes, there's more money spent on it at retail prices, but it's they're the same thing. I've upgraded, developed them to my taste to be, what I want, the ultimate. So yes, I can say that to my taste, I prefer the sound of the CD to the black vinyl. I prefer the sound of the blue vinyl slightly over the CD. Now, that's not to say it sounds the same. The black vinyl and the CD both sound more kind of clear and clinical than the blue vinyl, slightly more open, slightly more sort of cool, transparent, if you like. But whereas the black vinyl just lacks dynamics, it lacks cohesion. It does sound like the three of them are sort of tripping over each other a little bit musically. The CD doesn't sound like that. So for most people, the CD is going to be absolutely bang on, on the money. It's less than £20 for 2 discs. You get a nice little booklet in there. It's really, really fantastic, and you get 4 more songs. So for me, it was a no-brainer to buy the CD as well anyway. So let's assume I bought the CD first. Would I then go and buy the blue vinyl one? Yes, I would, because it's quite a different listen. You put the blue vinyl one on, and it is just, you've got the sort of the scale, the size, the sense of being at a live event that you have on the CD. But it's got a more organic, natural, analog, creamy kind of golden colour, rather than a stark sort of forensic medical kind of hospital light kind of, you know, blue fluorescent lit type of thing. This has got more of a natural sunlight kind of lit thing, if you like, or a more creamy, smoky duskiness to it. They both sound really, really, really good. The blue limited version and the CD. For me, I'm going to give top marks to the blue one. The CD in second place, and the black one. If that was the only version I'd heard, I'd probably have put it in the collection and not played it again. Like so many records, you buy them and it's like, yeah, it's kind of up. I've heard it now, but it didn't really inspire you, and I'd put it away. This blue one, I've already played it more than I've played Ocean to Ocean. I've already played it more than I've played Unrepentant Geraldines. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love it. The CD is really, really, really good. It doesn't sound the same, as I said, but it sounds really, really, really good. But the thing for me that's really interesting here is this blue one and the black one, they are pressed at the same pressing plant from the same plates. It's the same matrix numbers, it's everything, it's the same cut. So what we've got here is just a difference in vinyl, the black versus the blue. Now, kind of in the old days, as someone who, an audiophile, someone who strives for the best sound quality, I would always buy the black vinyl version in preference to the coloured version, because I believed through, gossip, hearsay, whatever, old wives' tales, I believed that black vinyl sounded better than coloured vinyl. In this particular instance, there is absolutely no question. The coloured version sounds so much better than the black version. Now, it kind of makes me think back to the Cure video I did, where I discussed the Miles Showell and the Bernie Grunman cuts. I much, much, much preferred the Bernie Grunman cut over the Miles Showell cut. Of course, that's two totally different cuts, but it was a black vinyl versus a coloured vinyl too. And actually, the way that this sounds similar or better is a similar thing. With the Cure album, the Bernie Grunman, the one on the coloured vinyl, had much, much, much more depth, much more air, much more space, much more musical flow and swing to it. And that's exactly what I'm hearing here between the black and the blue. And these are from the same cut, both by Miles Showell, and at the same pressing plant, same everything. So, I'm not going to say coloured vinyl sounds better than black vinyl. But in this instance, it does. And in this instance, everything else is the same, whereas it wasn't with the Cure, for instance, So that really, really, really opens up an interesting kind of question of why the coloured vinyl should sound so much better than the black vinyl. The black vinyl, in comparison to the blue, is edgy, flat. It's brighter. It's a bit crisper sounding, but it is definitely not better. So I think on that note, I'll wrap this video up. But I will come back to this probably in the next video, because I'm going to go into bigger details about the defects in these pressings, and I'll home in on the non-fill and the scratches and all that stuff, what to look for, what you're looking for, what it sounds like. And I'll also revisit the Deutsche Grammophones and a few other records that I've mentioned in previous videos, and talk about pressing plants, pressing quality, and things like that. Okay, so on that note, I have to finish this up by saying this album, Tori Amos, Diving Deep Live, is almost one I overlooked, but it is just utterly staggeringly good. thoroughly recommended. Okay, and on that note, I'll say cheerio, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye. Bye-bye.